That's what's said, correct? They're overrepresented. So if you're overrepresented, what is the natural conclusion? Well, we really don't need, we really don't need a special effort toward the black population because we already have them in there. And when they're in there, you said that they were crazy, and they are not compliant, and they're not doing what they want to do. Something's wrong with those people. However, when you ask for data related to when black people come in, what's their level of mental illness? What are they being diagnosed for or assessed for? What type of treatments are they receiving? What are the outcomes? What's the status of the wellness and the condition that they're in? We cannot find that information. Do you have it? And when you ask for that information, you cannot receive it. There is not a report on that. So then, when we had our focus group meetings and our in-depth interviews, what did people say to us? They didn't assess me. They didn't really listen to what I had to say. I don't believe that that diagnosis that they gave to me, which the top 3 would be
bipolar,
second,
schizophrenia,
third,
I don't know,
depression. You're doing good. So then when you hear these types, how much time do I have?
Well, I was gonna.
Okay. So then when
you're passionate. And the only reason why I'm allowing this, I'm just gonna interrupt. How many people here that this is the first time you've ever heard this information? See, I knew that.
You can tell from your expressions on your faces.
I knew that, and I knew this was so important. You know, I wish we could have more people here, but go ahead. That's why I knew, you know, especially that study.
I know, and we talked about it.
Let them know when that study's going to become ours.
That's it. This is what we're doing right now.
Okay.
So then when you look at these diagnoses, people have said, we have been wrongfully labeled. With the diagnosis comes what? The treatment plan. So when you're given the treatment plan, you're also given what other thing that we are given? Medications. Not just one, not just two, not just three. You can have a whole gamut of medications. So some people have said, look, I was not crazy when I went out there, but I'm taking this stuff is making me sick. It's messing with my head. It's a real truth. But then when you look at, well, where's your care plan? Where's your plan of action? How were you assessed? Do you know your therapeutic level of the medication? No, I don't know any of that. All I know is I'm supposed to continue to keep taking this medication, but I'm not taking it. So then what you get labeled? You are non-compliant. And if you stop not doing that, you get out of control like you saw on the news yesterday, handcuff you and take you away. A 7-year-old in Monterey, handcuffed and taken away, out of control. Now how traumatic is that? So then this is what our project has been about, and it is a comprehensive project, but it's from the perspective of the population. Now this is what's different. When you talk about your perspective, it's your experience. It is not good, it's not bad, it's not ugly, it's not indifferent. It is what's reality for you. So am I popular? No. Does it look bad? It might, depending on what you want to do with it. But what I am trying to do, and what we have tried to do as a work group is, we're talking about healing our people. You cannot heal if you're going to shove it under the carpet, if you're going to put it in the back room, or if you're going to ignore it, or if you're trying to save somebody's job. That's not going to happen. And when we see people that are crying out, and the biggest thing they said is, anybody listening? We have been saying this and talking, but it seems like nobody is listening. So we are putting in our report, and the rest of the ethnic groups, would be the practices that you believe, that people believe will help them to get better. And we are making recommendations as to what needs to be in a redesigned mental health system for the state of California. This is going on continually. And right now, there are those that are having meetings relating to the allocation of monies and what would be funded. And I have to say for Riverside, when you look at the Mental Health Service Act plan, each county was to submit a plan, and they were to identify priority populations, and I'm closing on this one. There were only 3 counties in the entire state of California that identified the African American population as a priority population. 3 counties. We have 58, you know. 3 counties. Okay, what was 3?
San Bernardino, Riverside.
LA, Riverside. No, not Riverside. LA, not Alameda. Sad, not Alameda. Sad, not that. LA, San Bernardino. The third one you probably will not get. Have you heard of Butte County?
Yes.
Really?
But there are not very many African
2,678.
Okay.
I love Butte County because Butte County put in their prevention and early intervention plan a specific tailored program and intervention for black people to help them heal. With 2,678 black people up there. It's called the African American Family Cultural Center, which is targeted for the South Side, that is going to help the black population come together so that they can get unified and start that process of moving forward. Los Angeles has something that deals with the criminal justice system. San Bernardino funded, and they had in their plan to fund 2 things, the African American Resource Center and an African American Resiliency Program for students in schools. Now this is where I give the kudos to Riverside. Even though they did not identify African Americans as a priority population, Riverside was the only county that funded 3 initiatives in 3 parts of the counties to work with children in an African American Resiliency Program. W.E. Du Bois Center with Dr. Abdulrahman,
Tomorrow.
that your colleague down there.
Be here tomorrow.
And he's done an exceptional job. He is the only one of the 3 that has outcome data regarding the students and their progress at this level. The others are, and then you have another one here in Paris.
Paris Recovery Center.
Yes.
They'll be here tomorrow too.
Yeah, and then we have one out in the desert, which really out in the desert you do have a lot of blacks, but they're out there because of substance abuse, other issues, and some people have chosen to move out there to be with their families and just to get away from the issues in their urban area. I didn't realize that we had so many blacks out in the desert.
Yeah.
But that is astounding. When I said tailored programs, they did the research to find out what's working with our people and put those programs in effect, and they are having positive results. We need to do that for the state of California. Dr. Wood. Now, I do not want the rest of you to be so long, but that's okay. This is good information. She had to say what she had to say. Because I you know, when I realized, because I've seen you in LA and different places, in Sacramento, that this was information that just needs to be said, and it is being done. And the dismantling of mental health, I think it happened during Reagan time as well. Did he do
Well,
that?
that was with the hospitals and everything.
Yes. So that's not a new thing. But you know, I just really feel like these type of things are what do you say, the village. And this is what the village is all about.
It is, but the issue is you didn't know about it, and you know what happens is these things take place, and before you know it, a law is in effect. It's hard to reverse the law. And then also, who's making the decisions about how it's reconstructed? That's the other issue. You're apparently not, because you're not at the table.
No.
However, we do have the meetings. I say what I can't say, the other groups say what they can't say, but that's our major issue, is that it isn't that we need these nice reports. The people who are making the decisions about how the system is going to look may not be people who are truly interested in the same things that we are interested in. That is the problem. So the decisions that are going to be made are not necessarily those things that we know are going to be helpful. You'll have a system, but it may not be the way that we think it is.
Dr. Wood,
Well,
my mantra is, if you're not at the table, you're on the menu.